This is my real life story about how I walked away from $1 million to improve my own well-being and happiness. We've been taught our entire lives that business is all about making money and that our jobs are also about making money. But that's just bullshit. Businesses must make money, but that doesn't mean making money is their purpose. A car has to have gas to operate, and the more gas you have, the further you can go. But the car's purpose isn't to have gas. The car's purpose is whatever you make it. For some people, a car is simply a means of transportation. But for others, a car is freedom or a status symbol or a hobby or a means of income. And just as you can choose the purpose for your car, you can also choose the purpose for your organization, your job, or your life. The craziest part is that nobody is actually driven by money. Money on its own is just paper, metal, or ones and zeros in a computer. What we really want is what money brings us. Even the gurus like Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins, who tell you that you should focus on getting money, don't really want money. And I can prove it to you right now. What do you think Grant and Tony would do if everything in the world became free and money could no longer buy things? Would they keep trying to make money? No, they want the things that money brings them. The ability to help others, freedom, fame, security, and ultimately the same thing we all want, well-being and happiness. Money is an incredibly convenient way to increase our well-being. But if getting money hinders our well-being and our happiness, it's not worth it. This is my real life story about how I walked away from $1 million to improve my own well-being and happiness. About 2 years after going full-time into business for myself, I landed a $1 million contract. At first, I was super happy. I mean, who wouldn't be? Seeing that many digits on a piece of paper is an amazing feeling. Plus, I got to keep 100%, minus taxes and insurance, of course, since I was a solopreneur. But my life was terrible. Maybe you can relate. My team was underperforming. The culture at the organization I was working with was completely toxic. People were taught not to take risks because if they failed, they would be reprimanded, but if they succeeded, they got nothing. I was called a perfectionist and shunned because I tried to get our team to set goals and standards for our deliveries. Executives told me stories about the internal workings of the organization that I dare not repeat. And most people's goal was just to collect their paychecks with as little effort as possible. Some people even straight up said that they weren't going to do any work directly to other consultants I knew. On top of all that, I was brought in at the wrong level of the organization to make change, and I was warned that if I tried to contact the right people, I would likely be fired because the organization was ingrained in the command and control mindset. Basically, the deck was stacked for me to fail, but I was still determined to make progress because that's who I am. But when I came home, I had zero energy, I was frustrated, I complained incessantly to my girlfriend, who is now my ex-girlfriend by the way, and it felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. Not long after I signed the contract, I was in a meeting and a straw broke the camel's back. One of the managers was supposed to have completed a 5-minute task and reported that it still wasn't done after at least 6 weeks of continued requests. I felt the rage swell, and I know you could see it in my eyes. This simple task was holding the team back, and the lack of action showed how little this person cared. And because of the policies in place, nobody else had the authority to complete the task. I almost quit on the spot, but my emotional intelligence and self-control got the better of me, and I decided to go home and sleep on it. After all, I was about to walk away from $1 million, so I had to be sure. Plus, I didn't want to ruin any relationships for no good reason. But a good night's sleep meant nothing. I had known for a long while that this wasn't the right place for me. I didn't believe in the organization's purpose, I didn't fit in the culture, and I wasn't in a place where I could actually use the full extent of my skills. My personal growth had stagnated, and it all resulted in massive stress and frustration. I think this is why we get statistics from Gallup's State of the American Manager survey that consistently say that only about 1 out of 3 people are actively engaged at work. And that's in the US. On a world level, it's about half that. If you want to check that out, I'll drop a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Oh, and by the way, I was also getting sick on a regular basis. On the flip side, last cold season, I was sick for a total of less than 1 day, even while being in the office around dozens of sick people. We can complain about our problems all day, but complaining about your problems just makes them feel worse. Instead, I decided to do something about it by building a business. At first, I just wanted to bring real change to these companies and help people avoid the same pains and struggles I had repeatedly been through. But I had a hard time selling it, and the next 2 years brought me no shortage of struggles. Drop me a note in the comments if you'd be interested in hearing more about the details. Despite the struggle, I was way happier because I was starting to understand my purpose in life. I was also starting to understand that most people are unhappy with their jobs because they aren't connecting to their purpose. In my case, I was going to make $1 million, but it was destroying my happiness, my relationships, my motivation, my health, and my overall well-being. So I walked away to pursue my purpose and to make money. The moment I gave my notice, a sense of relief and joy washed over me. I'm not exaggerating here. I could hardly stop smiling. The money meant nothing in the moment because I knew that I had made the right choice and I was happy. As I mentioned, the next couple of years weren't an easy road. I had my share of ups and downs and even had to return to subcontracting for a while to build up some funds, which again renewed my commitment to finding my own way. It took me a while to figure out why I wasn't bringing in massive business success. I had amazing skills as an organizational engineer, and I had proven time and time again that I could produce massive results despite all the hardships. So why couldn't I consistently find clients to pay me what I was worth? It wasn't until I decided to dig deeper into my purpose that things started to really take off. Before I found my purpose, I was trying to play other people's game. I was trying to take what I knew and fit it into their terms and try to make sense of their world. I did it because I was trying to meet my core needs. I was fearful that if I truly embraced who I was, nobody would buy my service. But exactly the opposite was true. By not embracing who I wasn't connecting with anybody. I didn't come off as authentic. I wasn't confident in my delivery. I was uncertain about where and how I should market my services, and work felt like work. As I continued to discover my purpose, everything began to change. Now I know what my purpose is with extreme clarity. On a personal level, my purpose is to improve the well-being of as many people as possible by increasing their happiness, prosperity, and harmony with each other and nature. And by the way, I say that to myself every day. The purpose of my company, Organizational Engineering, is to promote the idea that business is about more than just money and to help organizations and individuals that believe in that idea maximize their success. To be honest with you, I'm still in the early stages of living my purpose, but success is already coming. 2 years ago, it took me months or longer to find a single client. In the last week, I found 4 interested people, signed 2, and 2 others are still in the sales process. Work doesn't feel like work anymore. I'm compelled to move forward. I wake up with energy and excitement about my day, and I feel good about what I do and how much I accomplish in a day. Plus, my daily rate is more than twice what I was making on that $1 million contract. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about you for a minute. You don't have to do what I did to connect with your purpose. If you work for a company, you can still embrace your purpose by figuring out what the real value is that you're providing and reminding yourself every day of what you're doing for the world. If you run a business or other type of organization, you can also leverage this concept to create a whole new level of energy, engagement, and commitment. In fact, several studies show that purpose-driven organizations tend to significantly outperform their competition. You can also do things outside of your job to connect with your purpose, like volunteering, starting a YouTube channel, or doing a blog. If you don't know what your purpose is, you might want to consider starting with a mission to find your purpose and to improve your well-being while also improving the well-being of others. You may just be surprised at how much it can change your life. If you enjoyed this video, we'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want more stuff like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for all the latest updates. Until next time, thanks for watching.